Hello guys, welcome to the new video. It's officially day 10 of using 50,000 capital for 50 trading days. So let's start ahead with the trades which are taken. However, initially if you see because of some news we had seen some gap down in the Nifty around 115 or something points, and then Nifty went on to almost the low of around 19,480 odd levels. So from there we saw a sharp rally. So initially, when the market was gap down, however, like I had told you about in the last video that I had some position for the monthly expiry puts, 19,550 put. However, I was not able to make the most out of it because my expectation was not that Nifty would open such a gap, with a huge gap down. I was in a plan of adding few lots if the Nifty was around taking resistance around like 750 odd levels or 700. So actually I wanted to average out, but today in the early morning we saw a huge gap down, hence I was able to, in fact, I was able to get out with not that profit, I would say break even. So however, let's start ahead with the challenge trade for the day 10. So here in the early morning, after a sharp bounce back, we saw a Nifty going to almost around like 19,580 odd levels. So with this point, if you see here on a 5 minutes time frame basis, over here we had a resistance at this point. Even the 200 moving average was over here, and the double confluence was there. And over here, when the Nifty had taken resistance, then we saw a sharp, not sharp, like a minor dip towards the 200 moving average, and from there it had given a breakout, and almost the similar basis it had taken support. So today, after a gap down and then sharp rally, the Nifty again came near to the 580 zone, 580 to 560 zone. So over here I had a multiple confluence of resistance over here, like if I want to mark over here 2 points of resistance, and then there was a 1 point of support, and similar basis today this had taken as a resistance. Here it has acted as support and resistance. Over here there were multiple confluence, and here also there was a 200 moving confluence. Today also, if you see, in the similar fashion, I had resistance, and along with 200 moving average, on a 5 minute time frame I had a double confluence. So with that aspect, I made an entry around like 10:15. Let me take you to the position over here to tell you about the exact timing wherein I had bought. I entered in 19,600 p of 1 second. Yeah, so at 10:13 exactly, I made around entry or in the this weekly expiry of 19,600, and I had around 300 quantities at an average price of 96.43. So here, if you see the logic behind this trade was the resistance over here, the price action which I had formed here, and along with I had a 200 moving average wherein the Nifty was taking a resistance, and there was a slight consolidation also. If I zoom in over here, if you like, at this point I had some confluence, like from 950 odd levels till 10:30 there was this consolidation happening, because Nifty was trying to take out this, but the seller were heavy already, after such a gap down, and then there was a sharp rally of 100 points from the day low. So I entered around at 10:13. So I waited around for half an hour to execute this trade over here. If you see here, I had made entry at 96 rupees over here, and then I exited at 109 at around 10:42. So if I move on to the Nifty chart at 10:42, if you see, uh, like 10:42 in this candle, exactly in this candle, like around, why my exit was at this point, because we had seen a gap down, and over here the Nifty was, we had seen some support over here. When Nifty wanted to try to take out this level, we had seen two couple of candles wherein there was some rejection and also support. So this is the point wherein at 10:40 candle, if you see, Nifty had almost come down to around 19,544 levels. So with that, because early morning, if you see, the Nifty had opened around at 19,550. So similar basis with respect to that, the exit was along that line. So with this aspect, I was using only 300 quantities. So however, the capital that I used for this trade was around like 300 into 96.43. It was around 29,000. So 29,000. So I was able to make around, from this trade was around 3,700 profit. So overall around 10% of return I was able to gain from this trade. So early morning I was not able to take trade. However, I was in a lot of other trades also wherein the capital that I used was more than that. So especially for this challenge, I had entered in this 19,600 with a 300 quantities. So I was able to make, because all other things are like I had sold options, so those things will not count into this. So that was the logic behind this trade: 200 moving average and the price action that I had formed on 5 minute time frame basis. And also if I move on to 15 minutes, we have a lot of, we'll get much more clarity over here. But the 200 moving average confluence will not be there with this respect. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video for the upcoming challenges. Bye.